Hello and welcome to Side Quests. Tonight we are back with our route adventure. The last time our three intrepid adventurers tracked down an assassin who was in the middle of committing an assassination and fought and subdued the Silent Paw. As we left the three of you, you were victorious in converting the Pellenicky Glade guard to your cause after having rescued the head of the guard from the assassin, and I believe we're headed back to visit with the Woodland Alliance to inform them of the plan moving forward. So as you begin to leave the guardhouse, actually we should backtrack just a little bit. At the end of our last session, both Daisy and David met the conditions of their drive and got to advance. Andrew, do you want to tell us what David's drive is and how you met those conditions and what you chose for your advancement?
Absolutely. So David Todd Toddenson, which is his full name, has a drive called Freedom. I get to advance whenever I free a group of denizens from oppression. And at the end of our last session, convincing Wozy and the Pellenicky Glade Guard to join with the Woodland Alliance and kick out the Goshawks and future Irie oppressors. We said that he was successfully freeing them from oppression.
I have to say, I don't know if they're going to want to kick out the Goshawks, but they're definitely not fans of Dridge.
Correct.
Because Dridge sent an assassin. But yeah, if you'll remember, Wozy was actually friends with Alton, which is why he hired the three of you. So he might still hold a soft spot for the rest of the family. We'll see.
I think he said as much. I think that was part of the negotiation, was that the Goshawks wouldn't be, jailed or anything. They were kind of granted freedom, so to speak, should the Woodland Alliance be successful.
And what did you end up choosing for your advancement?
So I had several choices, but, the one that stood out to me was disappear into the dark. Because we know how well Todd Toddenson's been rolling on his stealth and sneaky stuff right now. And basically I can slip into the shadows and come out of the shadows whenever I want at a dramatic time. So we'll see how that gets used.
Okay. And did you swap dice for ones that would roll better this time?
I'm doing that now.
Krystal.
Yep.
Daisy also got to advance. Can you tell us what drive she hit last time and how that happened?
Yes. My drive was Chaos, which says advance when you topple a tyrannical or dangerously overbearing figure or order. And I think mine happened when I don't remember exactly how I did it. Sorry, it's been like a week. But I toppled the Silent Paw, right?
Yeah, you defeated an assassin.
I think I pushed her over with my shield, which is literally toppled her without even thinking about it. So just by nature, she's awesome like that.
It was quite the fight. And then what did you choose for your advancement?
Loot and plunder. You would explain it better, probably more succinctly than I would read it.
Loot and plunder. Find good stuff. Roll good, better stuff.
And it works because her character sheet, being a raider, she likes the sound of
good
money
stuff
in her purse pocket thing, and she likes to take stuff. Well, pickpocket, sneaky. So
you leave Wozy, parting ways as he puts the Silent Paw's stuff, some daggers and some other small bags, in an evidence locker. He moves down the hall towards his office, and the three of you are going to head back out into the night to meet with the Woodland Alliance.
But are we?
Yeah, before we do that,
Because last time, Daisy was very excited to be like rummaging through the pockets of this assassin and like, oh, look at all this cool stuff we got. And then the Wosi was a dragon. Was like, no, this is evidence.
So what would you like to do?
I have to find the thing. What was it under? How it applied.
Your advancement choice, is that what you're looking for?
Is it
was
that
it your nature?
Oh, that okay. So I have a plan. We're very exhausted. We've had a long day,
You
and I
have.
have 3 out of 4 exhaustion things checked. So to clear my exhaustion track, the whole track. That's cool. I just realized that my nature is bandit, and when I try to use the threat of force to secure valuables from formidable opposition, I will not be exhausted anymore. Also, if I want to plead with my characters.
You're doing all the stuff.
Can I? Is this too much?
Tell me what you're doing. Who specifically are you pleading with? It's just one character.
I think she would not care what David thinks. I think she would be like, Roderick, we had a lot of cool stuff there, and Wosi just took it out from under us, and we could really use it. We should definitely go and maybe borrow it back for our cause, right?
Well, we don't want to be on bad terms with Wosi, and the Woodland Alliance is expecting us, but I suppose that those tools could be useful to us. So sure, why not? Let's go burgle some rare antiquities.
Is there a way to use threat of force without making someone your enemy? Is there a way to do that in a not threatening way?
No, I don't think there is.
I'm like trying really hard. How do I make this apply and not make enemies?
I think you would have to coerce Wosi. Yeah.
And threaten him with my huge muscles.
Yeah. Is that something you want to do? Do you want to threaten Wosi?
We just convinced him to join a rebellion. Why are we going to smash him with a shield?
Oh, I'm not actually going to smash anything. We're just going to threaten him a little. It's all in the name of exhaustion. Now I'm like thinking about it. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? We're all so tired. How else can I clear my exhaustion?
Well, Roderick got to clear one exhaustion for giving in.
You're welcome.
So you can't get your exhaustion cleared just by going and burgling some stuff? You have to take it by
threat of force.
It says threat of force to secure the valuables.
Is there a way we can
let's
like
get
use
creative
the
here.
Yeah, can we use the definition of threat of force to
I think you just need to pick a different target. We don't want Wosi mad at us. But,
force.
One thing I know is that assassins usually have a stash. If you want to threaten someone with violence, maybe we just go back to the jail and you can steal the rest of what the Silent Paw has.
But she's passed out, and we took it all.
Wake her up and threaten to knock her out again.
Yeah, use some force.
Valuables. Okay, this is a good idea. Let's go talk to her and make her tell us where her treasure. What do you call like a loot place?
Stash?
Well, yeah.
Hidey hole?
No, not that one. We'll make her tell us where the stash is. That's way better than getting on the bad side of the guy we just convinced to be on our side.
I like it.
Sometimes I'm glad you're here, Dave. You balance me out a little.
I do have to keep an eye on you.
Aw.
So you quietly, actually, you know what? I would like a roll, and I would like that roll to be somebody to sneak.
Can I interject can I perform a distraction on Wosi while this happens?
What do you
while
do?
they sneak?
What do you do?
I want to go ask Wosi what his plans are for the coming 24 hours.
Okay. So you head off to Wosi's office while Daisy and David head over to deal with the Silent Paw. You get in Wosi's office and you find him going through his stuff, putting on his Glade guard armor, strapping a sword to his belt, and he looks up and says, "Young man."
Frederick, Wosi, I thought we might go over the itinerary. What's the plan for tomorrow? I see you're getting armed to the teeth, as they say. So, expecting the worst? Preparing for cautiously? Tell me, what do you think's gonna go down? What's your opinion of the Count? And who do you think is behind all of this?
Last we talked, we were going to rid this glade of the Eyrie.
Of course, but in what way? What direction are we all headed here? I just thought we'd get our heads in the same page.
Well, I was going to gather the guard, meet back here,
Okay.
and honestly, I was going to wait for you, because you seem to know what's going on here, and you seem to have contacts with the people that we need to make this thing happen.
To know what's going on here, I needed to have this conversation, Wosi. And now that we have, I feel all is cleared. The puzzle pieces are falling into place. The dominoes are falling as they will. The deck is loaded, and and check is made. Now, if you have any other info, I'm happy to hear it, and if not, I thank you for your time, Wosi.
Give me a cunning roll.
Let's see. My cunning's bad. What the heck?
Really?
Yes.
I totally believed you were cunning. That's how much Daisy believes in you.
What do I do if my cunning's bad? Do I just roll it anyway?
Uh-huh.
I can't roll this
There are no bonuses.
I can't just roll it as like a luck or something like that?
I don't think you're trusting fate, no.
No.
This is more tricking.
Okay, but I am rolling 3 or 2?
You're always rolling 2.
I keep a third one in there just in case one gets unlucky, I guess. Okay, well, I rolled an 11. And
Plus or
my
minus your cunning.
my cunning is -1, so I got a 10.
You got a 10. Okay. Great. The Wosi is all into this conversation and is now asking, now who do you know who's going to rouse the rabble around here? Who's going to send up the alarms?
Well, we're in close communication with the Woodland Alliance. We have friends on the inside, you'd say. And I believe that they are on the same page as us. As soon as we communicate with them that we've created a pact with you, the guard of the Glade, I think that we can come to a solid plan. I picture the Woodland Alliance creating quite a ruckus around the Glade, while perhaps your guard support us in taking down the Count and finding out, who is truly responsible for these murders. And I hope that you understand that may involve direct confrontation with the Eyrie, but if it means freeing this town and bringing it back to the people, This is, I think, a cause worth following, and whoever takes hold of this town, I see no reason why your guard wouldn't continue to rule as they have, just under a freer rule.
Now, what I would like to do is to get the goshawks out safely. My guards and myself can get into their nest, so to speak, and remove them without much incident. Maybe with Callum, we'll see. But Pallyra and Ellerby, I feel like we can get them out quickly and away from those who might want to do them harm.
And what of the Count?
You three seem capable.
Say no more. The Count will be taken care of.
Now, is there a signal? What should we be waiting for? You seem hesitant to put us in touch with the actual Woodland Alliance members in town, so how will we know when everything is ready?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The old bell was originally going to be the signal for the attack and uprising. We'll continue with that plan.
The old tower at the edge of town.
That's right. When you hear the bell, know that it's time to make your move.
I'll gather the boys. We'll be ready.
All right.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the guardhouse, Daisy and David walk into the jail, the cells, and they see the silent paw.
Just so in over my head. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
They see the silent paw crouched in the corner, the back corner of one of these darkened cells. Their hood over their head, their knees up to their chest. You can see the eye shine, that glare of orange from under the hood as they look up at you.
And we have determined she's a cat, right?
Yes.
Okay. A little mouse here. She gets a little shiver, like, don't be scared. Don't show your fear. Is she conscious?
Mm-hmm.
You said she looked at me. Okay. So, what's your name? We've heard a lot about the silent paw.
She just stares at you. You see those shining eyes from beneath the hood. You can't see her face at all.
Listen, we don't know what you're up to. We know it's no good. What am I trying to do here? I'm just trying to get her stuff.
Yeah. You could trick, you could persuade, you could figure someone out. You could read a tense situation. You could do pretty much any of the moves on the sheet.
I was gonna. Yeah. Where's the read the tense situation? How does that work?
So with read a tense situation, you roll with your cunning, and then you get to ask some questions.
Okay. I am -1 cunning. As you can tell, because she's no idea how to interrogate anyone. But I wanna like make her think like we have the entire guard on our side, and the Alliance. You're just here all alone. You want some help. You better work with us.
All right, is that tricking?
I don't know. No, it's true. Sort of. I just want information about about her stuff. How do I get her to give me information?
I think you are trying to figure someone out. You are
Yeah.
trying to figure out what this character wants to do here. So that is a roll, and then you add your charm to your roll.
Okay. No, 0 charm.
David could help, but that costs exhaustion.
Of who? Him?
Yeah.
Man, I'm not good at anything except finesse and might. Which is silly. Okay.
That's all right. Just try something. I've got
All
your
right.
back.
All right. Like, could we trick her to just think that she has no hope but us? 7 plus no charm.
7 plus 0. That was figure someone out? Okay. You get to ask one question from figure someone out.
Does she have to answer it?
I have to answer it.
Right.
Not the character. This is a question
Oh.
for the GM.
Oh, okay, good.
That bottom question looks pretty poignant.
I don't get to pick it. It's on a list. I have to pick it
Yeah.
from a list. Is your character telling the truth? What is your character really good? Tend to do. How could I get my character? Wait, your character?
My character.
How could I get your character to tell me where her valuables are?
You could let her out.
Of course. Oh, that's a bad idea. On a leash or something. What would we do with her?
Now, the question becomes, do you really have to let her out?
No. Make her think we will?
Well, there is trick in NPC. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we make her think we're gonna help her.
So, as you ask your questions and are met with silence, you look back over your shoulder at David, who is standing there. Tell me, since we haven't done this yet in this episode, tell me what David looks like as he's standing here behind Daisy in this prison.
So, David, being the Red Fox Ranger that he is, he's got a hood up and kind of his, leather armor, kind of rangery gear. He's got a sword, knife, bow. He's got his arms crossed, just to look very threatening. Because one of the moves that he has that is going to come up very soon is Threatening Visage. And so he's allowing Daisy to look or to be the good mouse, and then he's going to pull out the bad fox here in a moment.
Cannot wait.
And as Daisy turns back to the bars, the silent paw's there, right in front of you. You can see the glare in their eyes. You can see the bared fangs and the claws on their paws as they quickly reach up of the bars towards you.
Ah! I mean, I can see you one out of here, Paw, if that is your real name.
I think David reaches at the paws that are reaching for Daisy very quickly and grabs a thumb equivalent on the paw and gives it a twist and pulls out his knife. Now look here. We don't want any trouble. We are after the ones that hired you. But the jig is up. You are behind the bars. I know you don't want to be. Things are going to go down here tonight. And if you want out, you're going to have to pay your way.
As you grab that that paw, you see your tail bush, and she goes.
Doesn't that count as protecting a ward, by the way?
Pretty sure Roderick's the ward.
Wadrit, yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot.
If you let me out of here, I'll tell you whatever you want.
Doesn't work that way. It works the other way. When we get what we need, we'll come back and make sure not everything is as locked up as it appears. In the commotion of the evening, you can go back to what you were doing, as long as you leave Pellenicky Glade. So, and I would like to persuade this NPC to see my way
Okay.
with my threatening visage, which will
Okay.
allow me to roll my might instead of my charm.
How does Daisy also threaten the Silent Paw?
Like to fulfill my thing from earlier?
Specifically, yes.
Yeah. I just noticed, by the way, that it says try, so I don't have to succeed. Try to use threat of force.
What is your threat of force?
Is it just, yeah?
Look, you don't have anything in there, and he's got a big sword, and I can bat you down again with this shield just like before. So you better do what we say.
Tell me if this is not Daisy, but I could also see David,
Oh, she's gonna like bang on it to scare her. Bang on the wall.
and she hisses again at you. I could see David pulling that paw out, and Daisy just casually brandishing the axe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't even have to say anything to be threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Nice paw there. How silent are you gonna be without all three of your paws?
What do you want?
You've got to have a stash here.
I don't have a stash here.
Well, not here. Out there.
If you've been operating in town, you've been receiving payments. You have equipment, supplies, all the things you need to do your job. The jig is up here. Those are forfeit. If you forfeit them to us instead of the local law enforcement, be on your way.
You already found it.
One.
You followed me
Your
underground.
stash. There are a lot of tunnels. Which one specifically?
There are a lot of tunnels, aren't there? It was close to the one that you came in after me.
It's not enough.
I don't know, Daisy. Maybe we take this paw here as collateral. Go looking.
Sure, it's pretty.
No. Wait. It's the next tunnel, south of the one that you followed me down.
Taking notes.
Go.
How do we know you're telling the truth?
You don't.
Well, we could just leave you here and go check.
Oh, that's absolutely what we're going to do,
Figured
Daisy.
you were going to do exactly that.
What if it's a trap? She whispers to Dave.
I can hear you.
I think we have an understanding here. Because this person here knows we'll be back.
Sure. You'll be back.
You want us to bring anything back for you?
Yeah, a
Since
key.
we're gonna go. Right.
I think David lets go of the paw, kind of a little bit of a shove back.
And she
into
moves
the
back
cell.
into the back corner, and you see that eye shine under the cloak.
I mean, while we had her here, we could have, like, who's the Shrike? And all the other things we want to know.
We thought we were here for glittery and loot and things.
Have it all, right? Okay.
I've got a clear path. And as the silent pause moving back, David kind of takes a step back towards the door of the jail, pulls the key ring for the cells, tucks it in his pocket. We'll be back.
As you leave the cells, you spot Roderick coming towards you. And as Roderick is walking down the hall towards the two of them, what does he look like? Describe Roderick for us.
Roderick is he's a brownish gray bat, and his brownish gray leathery wings kind of hang like a cloak around his arms and back. He wears a scarf around his neck and studded brown armor with the studs I think are little like gold brass with a dark belt. He's got little boots. He's mostly dressed in kind of like browns and reds and black with little brass accents. And yeah.
And you meet up and share your plan. What's next?
What's the plan?
We're going straight to the weapons cache, or whatever it is the Silent Paw had, and then to the Woodland Alliance.
If this weapons cache has some useful items, this could very much change the plan. Something, who knows, big, explosive, smoky. Who knows what this assassin has, but that could dictate quite a bit. All I have in communicating with Wosi is that once we ring that bell, the plan will go into phase 2. Woodland Alliance attacking and Captain Wosi removing any of the Irie that we should see fit not to dispatch.
I think we can dispatch most of the Irie, but I'm sure the Goshawks won't out.
It's just Wosi's insurance. If they're in our way, we'll have to do what we have to do.
No prob, Rod.
And the three of you head out from the guardhouse. Out in the night, you can hear the bugs buzzing off in the distance. You can see up through the canopy of trees the starlit sky above. The gates to Pellenicky Glade are closed right now. These big hardwood gates with decorative iron and carvings around them. And you head back to that little tunnel at the base of a tree that you came out here through, which leads down into the damp darkness. You hear the water of the river as you get closer to it. To get to the location that the Silent Paw told you about, you do have to pass through the space that is occupied by the Woodland Alliance. Do you want to meet with them first, or do you want to bypass that? Just walk on through.
What do y'all think?
I don't have any reason to talk to them. I just want the stuff. Bypass. Hard bypass.
Well, if we meet with them now, we don't have to meet with them again. But if we meet with them after we get some stuff, we could communicate more of our plan if this stuff influences it.
Are we definitely on their side? Would we want to keep information from them?
Maybe.
Would it be better to go empty-handed and then go find out what we have and not necessarily tell them what we found? I don't really know whose side we're on.
we almost shouldn't be
We're
on
our
anybody's side.
Les.
What? You talked at the same time.
Sorry.
I just said we're on our own side.
What'd you say, Doug?
I agree. There are no teams but our team.
Cool. We all agree.
Anything to reclaim the skies, right?
Reclaim the skies.
I still don't know what that means, but I'm all for it.
Nobody does.
Damn the consequences.
I think we're trying to bypass. We're trying to sneak by,
Okay.
come back.
whoever has the lowest sneak, I would like you to roll sneak.
I'm good at sneak.
Who does not have sneak?
I've got sneak.
On the roguish feats,
Uh-huh.
where do we see that?
Up in your
Okay,
top
I
right
don't
corner.
have-
Okay.
I don't have it listed.
Daisy.
Because I thought, for anyone listening, I definitely lied on accident and thought I had it several times before.
Daisy is trusting fate. So you get to roll with luck.
Which, okay. I'm always trying to say, how many dice do I need? It's just 2.
2.
Ooh, 6 plus 9. No, that's not 6 plus 6.
Okay, and what's your luck?
0.
12 is
Just so I don't
still...
sound like an idiot, one of them had a line, so I was like, oh, well, it doesn't have a line, it must be the other thing. There are only 6 sets.
A 12
plus
is
0.
a 12 is great. You earn. You're gonna earn a fleeting opportunity, and you can tell me what sort of, if you have any ideas of what that could be. But as you,
Why am I rolling? What was it for?
because you're trying to not interact with the Woodland Alliance as you move through the space adjacent to their base.
Okay, because it was sneak, that's
And
what we're rolling.
they are all on alert, and as you move through that space, you can see them. A lot more people down here than were here an hour or so ago when you came through previously.
Are they about to have like their meeting or something?
And
As if
you-
we asked them to gather their whole army together.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah. And you can hear from an adjacent chamber, you can hear OSHA telling everybody there what is going to happen, what the plan is, and that there are 3 people who are trying to get the alliance of the guard right now. And do you have an idea for your fleeting opportunity before I tell you the risk that comes true?
I don't think this is what I wanted, but I kind of want to know what they think the plan is. But, like, is that already obvious? Should I already know that?
Well, you hear that they are awaiting the 3 of you. They're awaiting word of
We're just
their
trying to
allies.
ignore them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guys, help me think of a good opportunity thing. I don't know. That the cat was not lying, for one, and that we find good stuff, and that they don't see us. All those things.
We want to find good stuff. We want to keep it secret, and we want to communicate to them that they do have a part in our plan, right? Otherwise,
Sure.
but we did want to keep secret, like, what we're gonna get from the Silent Paw. I'm not being helpful. Just
No, that's
I'm just.
good.
I believe
reading.
we have a fleeting opportunity to raid the weapons cache.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The
Or-
weapons
or
cache of
the
the
whatever.
Woodland Alliance.
No. So that's
The
exciting.
of the Silent Paw, the cache of the Silent Paw.
I want there to be helpful weapons and valuables that Daisy the Raider would just really like to have.
Well, let
Whether or not they're useful in battle.
me tell you what's going to happen first. Is that
Okay.
as you make your way through this larger open space with tunnels shooting off of either side, you can hear the murmurs from the crowd of denizens that are gathered. You can hear OSHA speaking and talking about new potential allies, and that this is happening tonight. And as you get to the other side of this space, you run into somebody. Dooley, the blacksmith, is standing guard at the opposite side of this. And as you try to pass unnoticed, Dooley sees the 3 of you and says, Dooley was, "What are the 3 of you doing down here?"
Sup, Dooley?
Dooley, my good man, are those rings finished yet?
They are. They're at the shop.
We're so excited about them for tomorrow.
Aren't you supposed to be bringing the town guard?
The town guard is positioned.
Yes, we have just a little bit of scouting to do. Everything's
That's the word.
just about ready.
All right,
You ready?
scouting. I'll go tell OSHA.
Okay, you're going to tell OSHA that we're out scouting?
Way to make him feel like an idiot. Oh,
Oh.
okay, Dooley.
Yes,
All right, so if you feel that's important information for her to have.
she is waiting for the three of you.
Yes. And we will return as soon as we're done scouting.
She knows we're on our way. We just had to get some stuff.
Now, do you have any ideas for the fleeting opportunity?
He just stays at his station and it's like, oh yeah, we're really excited for your speech. And we'll be like, yeah, we'll come right back. We're on it. Almost there.
Oh, he says that. He says that exactly. Everybody's really excited to hear your speech. You will be given one, won't you?
Oh, Rod's real good at that stuff.
I'd be happy to bolster the morals of and excite the Woodland Alliance before tonight's triumph.
Well, we'll be here. Be sure to hurry back.
Yeah, just a little bit of scouting.
And the three of you move off down the tunnel.
That was so awkward.
As
I can still hear you, lass.
No, he can't.
What?
See you soon, Dooley.
As the three of you move off the tunnel, the last bits of light shine on Daisy's armor. Can you tell us what Daisy looks like?
She has like some armor. She has a silver breastplate that is extra like rounded to make her look bigger than she is because she's just a little mouse, but she wants to look tough. And she has like pronounced shoulder
Pauldrons.
things. What?
Pauldrons.
Pauldrons. I did not know that word.
Working on a game about space armor.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you're good at that stuff. And so she's got the big shoulders. It's like the armor equivalent of shoulder pads for the 80s businesswoman. Power shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a mouse, like brown and grayish. And she's got a really big axe and a really thick wooden shield that isn't too big, but it's really heavy and good at toppling bad guys. And a really long tail that's good at helping pick locks, apparently.
And she's got a flower on her armor, right?
Yeah, just a little, it's very, like, minimal, but a little, like, 6-pointed, flowery star-shaped emblem carved, because plain would be boring. She wanted a little something. Maybe some red stockings and leather boots, brown leather boots.
Cool. The three of you continue down to the tunnel to the place where the Silent Paw said her stash was.
It's going to be there. Mark. Please.
And I need to look at your sheets real quick to see a thing. We got hide, we got sneak, we've got acrobatics and sneak, and acrobatics and blindside,
What does blindside even do? I honestly don't know what that means. in this case.
backstab, murder, sneak attack, sucker punch.
Oh, cool stuff. Before Andrew hung up on you.
None of you have the roguish feat that I'm looking for.
We can pretend.
We've done
I'm
it
pretty
before.
sure you're looking for a disabled device, huh?
I would like one of you to trust fate, and whichever one of you has the highest luck, you can roll to trust fate.
I have 2 luck.
That would be you.
I'm pointing at Doug.
All right. I I got a 9 plus 2 is 11.
11 is pretty darn good. So as you get into this little alcove that Daisy has on a little sketch of the underground, Roderick, I'm gonna say, who's leading the group right now? Daisy's very excited about treasure and also has a map.
I feel like I might be like, it's not usually her character, but I feel like this situation, it's sort of her thing. Like, we're going, and I have the map, and I'm very excited.
Daisy hears a little click as she steps into this little alcove.
No, I said traps. There's kind of no traps.
Does she stop?
I think she immediately ducks. Please don't cut me in half.
What does Roderick do to disable the crossbow hidden in the shadows?
So ducking was a good idea.
I think as soon as there is a click, that is the sound of Daisy's foot coming off of a device, which is immediately followed by another click, which is Roderick's foot coming back down on it, intentionally to keep the pressure trigger from lifting again.
Okay.
You are so smart, Rod.
Just big ears. We hear a lot of things in the caves down here.
I was gonna say she immediately wants to know which direction with her big ears.
Oh yeah, you've got
Us
big
and our
ears too.
Yeah. We're one and the same.
What are you
That's
talking
right.
about?
Oh right, you also have big ears. You're just farther back in the line.
He's older, remember? He's old.
We won't judge him. Could one of you just pluck the arrow out of that crossbow to our left while I keep my foot on this pedal?
Oh, it is too far back to pluck, and this place is super narrow.
Okay, so everybody duck on the count of 1.
I have a really thick shield, so I'm gonna get under it.
Do you want to
Face it towards the direction of the crossbow. I could save everyone. Sacrifice myself. Let it shoot at my shield. Assume there's only one arrow.
Yeah,
Hey, David.
Can I order? I could order. I could also
tracking
order
with you.
Daisy to do it to fulfill Daisy's drive.
we have a choice. Whose drive would you like to fulfill right now?
I think we're in Daisy's story.
Okay.
Well, but what's the benefit? It just clears your exhaustion, right?
No.
What
you
does
get
it do?
you get one of those things at the end of the book.
Oh,
Yeah. It's great. You level up basically.
Okay. Sure, but I feel like I just had mine recently. Shouldn't someone else get to?
We're still
Have
in your
you-
story.
Yeah, this is Daisy's part of the story. What does Roderick tell Daisy to do?
All right, Daisy. I'm going to take my foot off of this, and the arrow will come plummeting somewhere down this hall. Now, if you could just take out that big shield, I'm sure it would strike somewhere in front of it. David and I have been down into ruins before. That's where we found the spider ring, and we've dealt with traps before. And I have a good feeling that it's going to come from that direction. So I'm gonna take my foot off.
Wait, don't not yet.
You let me know when your shield is ready, and
All right.
and that, yes.
I trust you. I'll do anything you say, Rod. All right. I got it. This direction.
And a 1, 2, and there it goes.
You hear the twang and the thunk as the bolt, thick, heavy crossbow bolt, plunges into Daisy's shield. Mark 2 wear on your shield.
Yeah.
1 more wear, and your shield is not repairable anymore.
You said 2?
Mm-hmm.
I see a previous check there.
Oh,
I don't remember when I got it, but I might not have a shield anymore.
You no longer have a shield.
Oh no.
But I sacrificed it for my friends.
Yes. That is exactly it, and that is your drive. So you get to choose another advancement.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I understand injury and exhaustion, but what is depletion about?
It's what's in your pockets.
Oh, we haven't like used anything to deplete my goods. So
You used one depletion to pay for repairs on your items.
right. I do have 2 check marks checked out of 4, but
Okay.
I didn't really know
Yeah,
why.
that's what that was for.
Okay.
Would that have removed the wear from the shield?
Did the wear come from the battle with the Silent Paw?
I feel like it didn't. Like it was something in like a. I don't remember.
That's right.
That's like the only fight
Your
we
shield's
had.
broken. It's more fun this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's fine. That's fine. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think your shield is toast. Can you tell us exactly what happened when that crossbow bolt came down this hallway?
She got real lucky and was right behind it in the smack center, and that thing was very well aimed, and it also hit smack in the center of her shield, and it split the wood because it hit right on like a joint, and it's just destroyed along with her little heart.
Sad.
But she is a mighty brave little thing and is like, it's okay, I did it for my friends and we're all alive, and maybe Roderick will be impressed with me.
Is Roderick impressed? Does Roderick notice?
Does Roderick even notice?
Well, my first impulse was that was a beautiful shield. I do apologize.
It's okay, thank you.
Oh, right, and we're all safe too.
Counts.
That shield is a work of art. I do apologize for that. But well done.
Thanks. She tries to puff up a little more and walk off a little bit more.
What's
Back
the
right.
holdup up there?
Was I supposed to pick something though because of that? Where do I?
Yeah,
from the
you
same
get
thing?
you get another choice of any of those checkboxes.
Skills.
You could also add a +1 to one of your numbers.
Oh, that just that first one just had a bunch of numbers in it, so I ignored it because I didn't understand what it meant. That sounds good. Yeah, just need a human to explain these things. She doesn't have a lot of good stuff, so maybe luck or cunning. What do we need me to have more of, luck or cunning?
So luck is for trusting fate. Cunning is for reading a tense situation or tricking an NPC. So if you think you're going to use more roguish feats,
Yeah.
you could go with luck. If you think you're going to read a situation or be tricky, you go with cunning.
I think luck.
Okay, you're adding +1 to luck. As you continue down this tight tunnel, it narrows and you have to move over some large tree roots, and there's water dripping from the ceiling. And eventually, the light from your lantern that you've got held high catches a glint of something. I would like... I think Daisy gets to roll your special move, Loot and Plunder.
Ooh, yay.
So you're rolling with finesse.
Rich area of... So we've entered her official stash?
You've caught the glint of something off in the back of this tunnel. And now we're going to find out just how good that something is.
Oh, please be good. And let me see, what is my finesse? It is 2. Awesome. Oh, that's lame. Only 7, so...
+2?
Yep.
9. You get to choose one of the 3 things. It is worth... So you find something that is worth a lot of money. Something that is special value to a particular faction, or something that is extremely durable.
You'd think that'd be good since I've lost my shield. But,
Yeah.
but it was supposed like this isn't going to be the only thing, right? Or is this like this is it? I get to determine what is in the stash
This is going to be the thing that you find that you want.
that I want. But there could still be like fireworks for Rob or something, right?
They're
Here's
extremely
the
valuable
deal.
fireworks.
I have something in mind for you that,
Okay.
And you could go with that, or you can dictate what the thing you find is.
Is the thing that you have in mind like nice? Or is it like GM against me kind of thing?
We don't play that game here. I am
You're-
for a fun story.
Okay. I think you're a really good storyteller, so I'm going to do what you have in mind.
Okay. So as you get back into the back of this cave, your lantern light shines on a pretty decent looking pile of stuff.
Your eyes are really big and sparkle.
Some of it is like weird, ordinary stuff. Like, why would somebody steal like a basket of bread? But there's a basket of bread down here.
She's going to have snacks. She gets hungry.
There are some pouches, and when you pick them up, they jingle a little bit. You find a pretty nice bow
Like for shooting arrows?
for shooting arrows. Yeah. You spot a spiky shield, and you spot a bandolier of smoke bombs.
Okay. Sorry, I'm writing my notes. Do I get all of them or do I have to pick one?
How do you want to divvy this stuff up?
Okay, so I run forward, not thinking, much like Abu and the ruby in the Cave of Wonders. and she just like grabs the bandoliers and throws them over her shoulder straight to Roderick. Like, these are for you, bud. And
You've got a belt of smoke bombs. When you attempt a roguish feat appropriate for this item, you can mark wear on the item instead of marking exhaustion to avoid a risk.
Okay, I like this. This is exactly what I wanted.
I thought you might like that.
It has two spots of wear.
So
Already.
I can use it twice.
You can use it twice.
Oh, I thought you said it comes already worn out.
Yeah. So you can say, I'm using a smoke bomb and I want to use hide. I'm using a smoke bomb and I want to use sneak. And you roll a 10, you still have 2 wear on it. You roll a 9,
Oh wow.
you still have 2 wear on it, but something bad happens, and you can choose to mark a wear for that bad thing to not happen.
Wow. Yeah, this is the item that I didn't know existed that I wanted.
This game is really fun. Okay. Right.
Then
I
what?
didn't mean to interrupt. Okay. So she threw those to him. She knew he'd love them. And then she picks up both the bow and the shield and she looks at them and thinks real hard for a second. Like, oh, these both look good. And then she just gets this kind of feeling that David is probably a more steady, thoughtful shot, and that she maybe shouldn't be trusted with the weapons as much as the spiky shield. So she just kind of feels it out on her arm and thinking, yeah, this will do. I needed a new shield. This one's got spikes. Makes her feel very cool. She's like, this will impress people. And then, hey David, you know anything about shooting?
And David will take the bow and inspect it. Compare
a-
it to the long bow on his back.
It's a nice bow.
You already have a bow. I'm sorry, I forgot. Pretend I didn't say that. Is this one any better than the one you have? You want it?
So this, we're just having fun here. We're just having fun with this game. You guys are getting like the best stuff. So you've got this bow. Why don't you tell me what it looks like? It definitely looks like it It's not Irie, and it's not Marquisat, but it has sort of a fanciness about it. It looks like it was created for somebody in charge.
Someone that owns fancy knives.
Maybe
Is it part
someone
of a
that
set?
owns fancy knives.
Is it part of a set? Do they match?
We'll see when you try to steal the fancy knives.
You get a power up for having the
Next
entire
time.
set.
Yeah, I think it's a. I mean, it's a like a. It's a short bow as opposed to a long bow. It's more maneuverable and is wrapped in some ornate. The grip is wrapped in kind of an ornate leather and ribbon piece to it. With yeah, we'll just go ahead and say gold caps on each
Gold.
end.
So
Yeah,
fancy.
gold. Uh-huh.
So fancy. Wait, isn't gold really soft and like bad for shooting?
It just looks gold.
Well, the spots where when you string a bow, you've got the bow has to be kept inside. You know, the string has to be kept on the bow. And there's a
We played
metal. It's normally just wood, but you can put a cap there. Those caps are gold.
it. Cool.
Not the whole bow is gold, just the tips.
Royal oak.
I mean, it's recurved, whatever that means.
Like super. It means you like
Yeah.
less tension makes it go super hard.
So as David inspects this bow, it seems particularly accurate. Daisy looks over the shield. It is a nasty thing with spikes on it. You want to tell me what it looks like?
Not totally her style, but she decides that this is pretty cool. Wouldn't have picked this, but surely it's going to make people quake in fear, right? Surely.
Surely.
It has like black iron spikes around the whole, sticking out of the thick perimeter all the way around. Maybe one good one in the middle even. Oh yeah, that's good. We'll do a big spike in the middle so she can. It's also a weapon now.
It
not
is
just a shield.
actually also a weapon.
So she could do the slashing, and like little spikes will hurt you, or she can push back with the one big in the middle. This is perfect.
So for your shield, there is a weapon move called Grapple an Enemy.
Oh yeah.
Roll with might, and both you and the enemy choose a thing. And all of the shield's thingies, all the bonus moves on it have to do with grappling an enemy. The bow has a couple things as well. It is accurate. It is heavy draw weight if you want to shoot somebody who is vulnerable to your shot. You take a mark an exhaustion to make the shot and inflict an additional injury. But it's also heavy.
That gold.
Can someone carry two bows at once? Can you have your long one and your small one?
Why not?
We're just playing a short game. We're not paying too much attention to the encumbrance rules. My honestly least favorite rules in any RPG. So right now,
I just meant like in reality, do people carry two, or is it like that real people that shoot bows don't do that?
David's gonna carry two.
Cool. Sounds good.
and you raid this place for everything it's worth.
For all it's worth.
Get a couple
Thank you,
little
kitty.
sacks of money.
Jingle, jingle.
Yeah, you see that they are in embroidered fancy bags with an Irie symbol on them.
How does she have all this fancy stuff?
She
Why
was
is it so fancy?
contracted to kill multiple people.
But why so fancy?
It's probably fancy people that she was hired to murder. You don't really go with an amateur when you're going to murder the mayor of a town.
You know a lot about murder. There, Dave.
I'm surprised you don't.
I mean, I'm learning.
Well, what's next for us? Are we? This feels good.
I think we owe some people a speech.
I
Yeah,
suppose.
Roderick.
I suppose it's time for a speech. I mean, the Woodland Alliance is a key part of the plan, so we might as well loop them in. But we've got some good loot. Much appreciated, Daisy. We couldn't have found this place without you.
So glad it worked out. Do we just leave her there? I mean, we're not going to obviously let her out, but do we need to go visit her again at some point for any
I'll take care of it
information?
later.
Okay.
Sounds fairly menacing.
Does sound menacing.
The three of you exit the Silent Paws den and head back through the darkness towards where the Woodland Alliance is rallying. It's quiet. The water is moving at your ankles. You have to wade through it as you go. There's no real space on either side of the river here.
Boots are getting much.
They are.
Can I take this moment to ask David a question?
Sure. Will it help with the speech you have coming up here in a moment?
David, we're about to turn this town of Pellenicky Glade upside down. And I just want to make sure, or at least understand, what it is. You know, of course I want to do this for the sake of freedom of the people of our community, but I overheard that you maybe have a history with the Count. Would you care to share that with Daisy and I, just so that we at least know what we're walking into?
With Daisy and you? I don't...
Are you holding something back from us? We were pals, Dave.
I've got my eye on you. I'm a little wary.
What have I done to make you wary? I thought we were on a team. We've
We-
traveled so
We're
long
on
together.
a team. We're with Roderick here, yes?
I'm deeply hurt.
I don't know why you would be. When we first met, you tricked me. Do you not remember this?
I've already forgotten.
Of
That was
course
a
you
bit-
have.
Oh.
It's. I'm sorry if I'm. Sorry, not dredging up. I'm sorry if I'm bringing up some bad history, but just think. Tomorrow, a free community. Tomorrow, the three of us brandishing our spider rings in the gleaming daylight.
Aye, that sounds nice.
The three of us, well, if I could be honest, could be running this town by tomorrow. So, all honesty and transparency is what we need. And I'd say bury old grudges, old turmoil, and share with us.
Want me to bury this hatchet? It's pretty handy.
If we're burying it in dredge, I'm okay with this.
I got your back, Dave. I'm here to help. Just tell me what to do.
But I think it's better that the Irie don't gain control of this woodland. There was a time before I was with you, Roderick. I was with the Irie during the Great Civil War. Dridge, Colonel Dridge, as I knew him back then, was my commanding officer. I've seen what the Irie will do to control those under their wing, under their
Worked with
talon.
Dridge?
I'm not proud of it. And I'd rather not again. So if there's a way this very evening to sever that tie with Dridge once and for all, I'd be in favor of that.
To put it lightly. Well, you know his weaknesses then, right?
It's been a long time.
But sure.
He's a count now.
He's gotta be the same dude underneath all those feathers, right? Tell us what we need to know.
Well, I found that most people are weak to pointy, sharp weapons.
My new shield has some good points.
Yes, I imagine Dridge has the same weakness. It would be difficult to get close to him, but once we do, I think we can do this.
Yeah, we can.
All in the name of reclaiming the skies, right?
Especially with Roderick leading us.
Reclaiming the skies is paramount. When you see Dridge, all of those weaknesses will come back to you, and he will fall before you. And so will Pellenicky Glade.
I don't need Pellenicky Glade to fall before me. But I appreciate the sentiment, Roderick. Your ambition is one of the reasons why I follow you.
Thank you.
And you get to the open space, and you pass Dooley, who follows you into the space where everybody is gathered. You see Elaine and Osha. You see many mice that you don't know, a few lizards, some moles, and voles, and a beaver or two. You even spot a crow and a starling off in a corner. And Osha approaches the three of you with Elaine behind her and says, "So what's the plan? Do the three of you come back with good news? I notice you're coming from the opposite direction that we sent you in."
Caleb's on the trail, you know.
We've come with great news. And that news is that the revolution is about to begin.
Hooray!
Huzzah!
He's just talking to Osha, you said?
Yeah. But
I feel like
it
you
is fairly
directed
quiet
your-
in here, yeah.
I feel like you directed your attention in the middle of that sentence. I
This
come
is
with
a
great news.
cave. He's echoing off the walls.
I thought I was going to have a preamble before my speech. Is there a box around?
There are a few tables. There's some
There's an apple box
cots.
right there. I'll get it for you.
Thank you, Daisy. All right, here we go. People of the Woodland Alliance. I am Roderick, a fellow member, a fellow subject under the Eyrie. One who wishes to bring back the freedom of the people. The freedom of people like you. And he looks around, makes a bunch of eye contact.
Daisy, stand right, cross your arms. Yeah, either side, yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Tonight, we will take back Pellenicky Glade.
Hurrah!
Brandish my axe. Stare down the crowd. You best be cheering too.
Tonight, when you hear that bell ring, you will rise up from the earth and take back the skies.
Huzzah!
He's such a good speaker.
That was a beaver.
I can't end any better than that. I was planning a very long speech, but that's fine. I think that's good enough.
So you said
Imagine it's very long.
when the bells ring, we will take back the skies. And as you say that, everybody cheers. The whole crowd erupts with cheers. And as it quiets down, and you begin to speak with Osha about the plans, and are about to bring up your discussion with Wosi, you hear the dull reverberation through the stone and the earth of the bells ringing up in town.
That was sooner than expected.
But this isn't the old bell?
Well, you don't know the old bell, but this, as it rings, Osha sort of looks up and over, like cocks her head at the sound, and says, "That's the bell."
Did we have a plan for this?
There was no backup plan.
Who was supposed to ring the bell? Was it Wosi?
I thought,
Who's right?
in Roderick's mind, we rang the bell to signal.
We're not there. We're
No,
here.
we're supposed to ring the bell.
Are you not ringing the bell right now?
No, almost all of us are down here.
We heard you guys talking before about some other bell signal. Is this part of that you had planned before?
No, we need to go up now. Something's going on.
What does it usually indicate in town?
Nothing.
Under-
It hasn't rung in years. The tower's abandoned.
I want to scurry up immediately.
Osha, it's very important to know the guard's on our side. Wosi's on our side. Whatever happens next, clearing is ours.
Osha, it's also important to know that it's possible that they've backstabbed us.
I was going to say, do we know they're on our side?
But yes,
That sounds like we information, not necessarily everyone information. And David, from the kind of back of the cave, puts his hand over his mouth and just says, "Reclaim the skies!"
a bolster of morale across the crowd.
In hopes of sending everyone charging out.
So, as the three of you, as David says, "Reclaim the skies." Osha and the other leaders, there are two other mice that have been conferring with her. They quickly look around and say, "Everybody, go up, but be wary. Something may be going on that we don't know we don't know what." You three head up as well. Just watch out. This is not how this is not how it was supposed to go. And all of the denizens down here spread out and go up through the various tunnels.
Who are we expecting the bad guys to be?
Dridge.
Just one owl.
The
depends on who
Irie,
you're asking.
maybe. So a bunch of birds with weapons, like in worst case scenario.
Irie bird bad guys. Like a bunch of them.
There was a strike that went for reinforcements that we were trying to take control of the town before they arrived.
They were trying to take control of the town.
We were trying to take control of the town before they arrived with their backup.
Oh. Control from who, if they haven't arrived yet? Who are
From
we taking it from?
Maybe they're usurping the Irie line.
the Irie wanted control of this town. They probably have arrived with their soldiers. I was hoping that we could have dealt with Dridge and Callum and any of their supporters before they were reinforced with actual soldiers. This probably has become more challenging.
How is David's cunning?
David's cunning is a 2.
Nice.
I mean, he's a freaking fox.
Roll with your cunning.
All right. I have a 6 with
Bummer.
my cunning. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you just throw your dice across the room?
Yep. Only roll of the night was so bad.
That's the only time you've rolled. I'm sorry.
Any of the stuff that David just said could be happening. Are you three going to be heading up?
What do you say, Roderick?
What do we do?
Well, we're not solving any problems while we're down here. We head up and reclaim the skies.
Reclaim the skies. You didn't say it, Daisy.
Reclaim the skies!
Thank you.
I'm following.
And you know, consequences be damned.
Damn the consequences. It's all for
As
you, Rod.
the three of you head up through a tunnel, it's smaller than the one that you came down in the first place. It circles, it goes sort of corkscrews up to the surface, and as you get to the top, you can see a little bit of light filtering through some wooden slats of a door, and you peek through those slats, and you can see in the town. It's the middle of the night. It's still dark out. You can still see the stars up in the sky and the moon high above, and you see lots of movement. You see the flickering of torches, and on closer inspection, you see the blue cloaks of the Eyrie moving about the town.
You got here early?
Who's first here? Is it Roderick?
What do you think?
Fearless leader.
David would be in front of Roderick in such a situation.
To David's keen eyes and past knowledge, he doesn't see enough Eyrie for this to be reinforcements. This is probably the contingent of guard that Dridge brought with him, but he can see that looking out there's the glint of Glade Guard armor on the ground. There are fallen guards, Pellenicky guards, on the ground. There is somebody pacing in the center of the square where you found Zale's body earlier in the evening, and you hear a shout. Come out! I know you're here, David Toddinson.
Yeah. David hides.
Did the battle start without us? The guards have fallen? The Eyrie are fighting?
Oh, there's no fight happening right now.
But there are new dead guys on the ground?
Yeah.
But we don't call that a battle?
Dridge. They're not battling right now. They're dead.
And the bell goes silent.
Who rung it? I feel like I'm supposed to know.
You don't know.
Okay.
You can't see it from here.
But yeah, would like to disappear into the darkness.
Do you want
Hearing
to
such a word.
exit
I
the
didn't-
tunnel and roll to hide?
Roll to
I didn't
hide.
take Dave for a coward.
Is hide one of your roguish feats?
It is one of my roguish feats.
Okay. All right, so you're rolling and adding finesse.
All right.
Good luck with
Finesse
your
is
dice.
+1. These are new dice. Ooh. I am at a 9.
Okay.
Hooray!
Cool.
Really wanted a 10, but okay.
Do you want to mark exhaustion
I
to
do.
hold 1?
I
All
do.
right. What resource do you have to spend to slip into the darkness unnoticed. You're going to mark one depletion.
I'm gonna mark a depletion. You
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. What did you have to pull from your pocket?
I think that David, in his quick thinking, realizes that he's carrying too much gold. Those bags of coins that were just taken from the Silent Paw's cache would jingle too much for him to remain hidden in the shadows and the darkness. And so he cuts them loose and drops them.
All right. The bag drops to the floor, drops to the ground, and lands in a soft pile of grass, and David slinks into the darkness, and he hears again, "David Toddenson, come out now." And from the center of the square, you three see a pair of guards and somebody that is unmistakably a goshawk emerge from a side street. And they approach the person that you can pretty safely assume is Count Dridge. Between the two guards, you spot a figure being dragged. The figure of Frederick Wosi.
Is he moving? Is he dead?
He doesn't look dead.
Okay.
You see Dridge and the goshawk, Callum, speak to each other for a moment. Dridge looks around the square. His large owl eyes, flaps his wings and takes off into the sky. And you hear Callum. "You can all come out now. We have your captain here. Everybody come out. Come on. Everybody out of the corners, out of the darkness." And people poke their head out of the beer burrow and other places that are quiet now, but still have lights on. And a small group begins to form.
As Dridge was flapping his wings to head away, can I spend my hold to fire my longbow with quick shot at Dridge?
Can you do that? Let's look at your thing. So, spend your hold to reveal yourself from a darkened place, suddenly and without warning, and attack somebody.
That's really cool.
And your longbow is range far.
I have to be close to use the quick shot if I wanted to do that, but it does have.
I don't
range.
think you're close.
I
Okay.
was gonna wonder about targeting someone, target a vulnerable foe at far range with finesse. Roll with finesse.
So targeting a vulnerable foe is like you got somebody on the ground.
I mean, if they're flying away and don't think anyone's attacking, is that not vulnerable?
I don't think that works here. You can spend your hold, but he is climbing into the sky. Don't think he's close to you.
Okay. But I can still spin the hold to attack.
Yes.
Sorry.
I might actually like to use my new bow
Yeah. You should.
and use the trick shot here.
What does that do for you?
Let's see. I get when you fire a clever shot designed to take advantage of the environment at any range, mark where on your bow and roll with finesse, which is a +1 for me. If I can get a 7 or more, I can choose 2 of the following list. If I get a 10, I can choose 3.
Okay. So you're rolling finesse either way, whether you target somebody or do a trick shot. How are you taking advantage of the environment?
So having slunk into the darkness, David Todd Toddenson removed the smaller of the bows that he has and moves in the shadows slowly and quietly until he has a view through like some of the boxes and crates that would line an alleyway, and can essentially kind of no okay this may be too ridiculous, but drain pipe. There's enough of a drain pipe. No. Okay. That's fair. Okay.
I know what you're doing. I don't think so.
Okay.
Not for this one.
Not for this one. That's fair. How am I using the environment? Let's see. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I'm well concealed, so Dridge doesn't know that someone with an arrow could fire from the dark alleyway.
See, I see trick shot as like a Robin Hood shot. Like you're
I was trying to use a drain pipe to do that.
Splitting the arrow with an arrow sort of thing.
I can do that.
I take it back that I assumed you were hiding in fear. I now understand you were just trying to conceal yourself.
We'll talk about it later, Daisy.
All right, roll it.
I'm on your side.
Let's see what happens.
All right. Oh. I thought I failed it for a second there because I used one with pips and didn't do my correct math. I thought it was a 5. It's an 8.
An 8. +1 finesse.
No, sorry, it was a 7 +1 for finesse made it an 8.
+3 for emerging from the shadows.
All right.
Spending your hold.
So I have an 11 then.
Pick 3 from the list.
All right. All right. All right. I'm just going to read them real quick. Sorry, everyone.
So the choices are, for those of you at home, your shot lands in any target of your choice within range, even if it's behind cover or hidden. Your shot strikes a second available target of your choice. Your shot cuts something, breaks something, or knocks something over, your choice. So if there's like a chandelier around. Or your shot distracts an opponent and provides an opportunity.
All right. So I get to choose 3.
Yeah.
First one is I would like to inflict an injury on Dridge, or hit Dridge, for 1. I would like to cut something, break something, or knock something over by cutting the ropes holding the higher nets off to land on Dridge, hopefully, and bring him back down to the ground. And I would like my shot to distract Callum enough to provide an opportunity for Callum to be distracted and lose control or command of the situation just long enough for our members of the Woodlands Alliance to realize that this is their moment.
Callum draws the Goshawk family long blade, a gleaming sword, lengthy steel that shines in the moonlight as Dridge flies up from the center of the square. The 2 guards hold, the 2 Irie guards hold Wosi between them. And as this crowd gathers, Callum holds that blade up above his head, and David's shot, you can hear the soft sound of the arrow leaving the bow in the quiet of the night, and there's a quiet whistle as it flies through the air. It snaps one of the ropes holding up the netting above this place, and shoots through it and pierces Dridge between the plates of his armor. You hear him grunt. He spins in the air but catches himself, and quickly with his wide owl eyes searches the scene for David. This had to be David. And you make eye contact with him. The ropes fall from the sky, and Callum has to get out of the way as he sees them come, and as he moves backwards, lowering his raised blade, you hear shouts from the corners of the square. You hear the creak and slam of wood as trap doors open, and the shouts from the denizens as the Woodland Alliance pours out onto the scene.